So we're talking about losing the culture war, how to lose the culture war, at least how not to win it. And I go out of my way not to attack conservatives, not to attack Republicans even, because of Reagan's 11th commandment, thou shalt not attack your fellow Republicans. I think we have to work together. I think we have to accept that we need some rhinos in the purple states and all that stuff. I'm not a purist in any sense. But at this point, I think that something has to be said about some of these old right, pre-Trump non-culture warriors who have lost every fight we have had for the last 50, 60 years and are still giving advice to the rest of us on how to fight this fight. And it has to be responded to. This is what's happening in Florida, in the media throughout this country is a vicious attack on the sexual formation and the consciousness formation of our children, who are our charges given to us by our God, and they are not there. You know, Thomas Sowell likes to say that sometimes the issue is not right or wrong, but who decides. And it's very clear who decides. It's not Walt Disney Company. It is not any big corporation. It is not the teachers in school, some of whom may indeed be groomers who actually took those jobs to get their hands on children. That's the way it looks to me from some of them on TikTok, some of the crazy things they say on TikTok. It's not the government. It is the parents. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about parental rights, and it's true no matter what. You know, I don't care whether somebody dresses up as a woman. I really don't. But when he tells me that I have to call him a woman and refer to him by his stated pronouns, and I have to lie about my sense of reality, then it's my business. That becomes my business. This is about parental rights. All right. So David French. Now I've joked about David French that he is now so wrong that even the commas in his sentences are incorrect. But to give David his due, he was attacked viciously by some of Trump's supporters. I think some of his kids are black, and I think he just was attacked in ways that, in my humble opinion, were unchristian, un-American, unmanly. They were unforgivable. And I don't blame David for being angry. But you know how a few weeks ago I was saying to you, if you get so angry that all you do is react to other people, that they've won. And a lot of people got angry at me about that. They were saying, well, you're kind of, condescending to my anger. I have a right to be angry. I know you have a right to be angry. I understand. I understand how hard it is to let your anger go. Believe me, I understand. It's not like I'm talking without experience of these things. I'm telling you that in order to fight the fight that you need to fight, you have to let the anger go so they don't define who you are, and they don't define the battlefield. And I think David French has gotten so angry that at Trump that he has lost his way. He has lost his way. And so he now says, he tweets this, he says, I reacted to the "don't say gay" meme, which has nothing to do with the Florida bill, keeping these teachers from grooming children. I reacted by saying, okay, groomer, right? That was my joke. I don't know if I made that up. I don't know if I said it first. I actually don't. Somebody else could well have said it first. I'm not taking credit for it, but I made it up from my point of view. I didn't hear it from anybody else. David French, not talking to me specifically, says the slinging of the word groomer or insinuations of sympathy for pedophilia by the same people who spent years standing for the man who appeared in Playboy video centerfold, Donald Trump, Playmate 2000, Bernoulli twins, is just too much. So that argument is you can't protect your children from pedophiles and grooming if you voted for Trump. That's the argument. That's the argument that David is making. That is nuts. And that's what I mean by becoming reactionary and letting anger define you. This is what they are doing in these classrooms. These people who are complaining, I don't get to tell children about my boyfriend. Teach them math, teach them English, shut the hell up about your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your life. That's not what you're there for. You are there to teach these kids, and you're doing a crap job of it. Our kids in America do not know the history they should know. They don't know the math they should know, and they don't read well either. But even worse to me is this, and I don't know this guy personally. I'm not attacking him personally. This is a guy, Nate Hochman, a fellow at NRO, National Review Online. He was at the Claremont Institute Publius Fellow, which is a very prestigious and really good thing. So I'm not attacking him, but here's what he says. Remember, the issue here is Ron DeSantis got a bill to stop these teachers from doing what they're doing. It's just a bill ensuring that parents have rights over their children's sexual formation. They called it the "Don't Say Gay" bill. Me and others, I'm sure, called it the OK Groomer bill. He says, Nate Hochman says, broadly speaking, left-wing teachers aren't grooming kids. Gender ideology in school isn't the same thing as pedophilia. The mainstreaming of these ideas on the right is a great way to lose an otherwise very winnable culture war issue. And yeah, we know how good NRO is at winning the culture war. It makes us sound like the crazy ones. The vast majority, this is unbelievable. The vast majority of the inappropriate sexual gender identity instruction in schools is driven by ideology, a harmful, destructive ideology to be sure, but an ideology that many people sincerely believe. Those people are wrong, but that doesn't mean they want to diddle kids. No, nobody says they want to diddle kids. They want to prepare kids for a world in which they will be diddled and that will be normalized. And there's no question about that. Why are you teaching a kid in kindergarten? Why are you showing him gay pornography? Why are you teaching them that watching pornography is a way to learn about sex? Why are you teaching them anything about sex? Of course they're preparing children for a world in which children are sexualized. And if calling them groomers and calling them out it even just underlines the creepy wickedness of what they're doing. Of course we should do it. Who cares if they think we're the crazy ones? Is that what I'm supposed to care about? I'm supposed to care about whether these sick bums think I'm crazy? We have spent so long worried about whether we're going to look dishonorable or we're going to look mean or we're not going to be quite boxing by the Marquis of Queensberry rules while these guys are in a knife fight. It's like they say you can't bring a knife to a gunfight, but we're bringing fists to a gunfight, right? I don't believe that because they do horrible things, we should do horrible things. But they fight tough and smart, and we should fight tough and smart. And sitting around and not calling them groomers when that's what they're grooming. And this idea that their sexual abnormality and their sexual deviance, which is what it is sincere, that they're normalizing this is sincere. All evil people are sincere. Maybe some evil people are hypocrites, but a lot of evil people are sincere. What difference does it make? Oh, yeah, we're sending you to the gas chambers, but I mean it, I really do think Jews are bad. What the hell kind of an argument is that? And it is just appalling. It is just appalling that they don't want to let people who understand the culture better than they ever have fight the culture wars in a cultural way, because this is how culture wars are won. They're won with language. Let me show you how the left fights the culture war. Here's Brian Stelter talking about this.
The talking point on the right is about protecting kids from the dangers of the Walt Disney Company. Really. But Disney is just a stand-in. It's just a symbol for something bigger. A conservative backlash to growing acceptance of gay and transgender people. A conservative fear that traditional beliefs are being trampled on. And there are entire networks that program to this fear, and many politicians that react to it. That's the story here. I spoke with a Disney executive who's caught in the middle of it right now, and they said, Disney's brand for decades has been family-friendly and has been gay-friendly, and that hasn't been in conflict. That need not be in conflict. But the media organs that profit from conflict are on a crusade now, working overtime to demonize Disney, claiming the company is indoctrinating and sexualizing children through movies and TV shows.
All right. Now, first of all, the first thing you have to notice is he's hiding behind Disney. Wonderful Disney. What could be wrong? How could you attack Disney? Disney is not Disney anymore. Disney is the left in a Disney costume, and so that's the first way they fight the culture war. We can't be dissuaded by that, certainly. Then he comes out and he says, "Well, a Disney executive says we've been gay friendly and family friendly. Those aren't in conflict." And Brian Stelter, then says they aren't in conflict. A Disney exec is going to tell me what moral conflicts to present to my children? Brian Stelter, who works at CNN, a corporation where everybody but him has been basically bounced because of their sexual deviancy and their sexual misbehavior. They're the ones. TV is supposed to explain to us what our morals should be. Disney is supposed to explain to us what our morals should be instead of parents, mom and dad figuring out what they want to teach their children. Who cares what they think? And then he says, oh, these right wingers are sitting around thinking there's some kind of agenda by Disney of all places to come after our kids. Here is Disney executive producer LaToya Raveneau from the Chris Rufo tapes, cut 34.
Our leadership over there has been so welcoming to my not at all secret gay agenda. And so I feel like I felt like it was, maybe it was that way in the past, but I guess something must have happened in the last, they're turning it around, they're going hard. And then all that momentum that I felt, that sense of, I don't have to be afraid to let's have these two characters kiss. Let's in the background. Like I was just wherever I could, just basically adding queerness.
What do we think they have an agenda? Okay, Groomer. I shouldn't say that because I might interrupt, she might interrupt grooming our children for gayness and queerness with, by thinking that I'm crazy. I don't want to do that. Here's an article from the New York Times that tells you exactly where all these people stand. It is a wonderfully, wonderfully dishonest, but possibly self-deceived. It's possible that the person isn't lying. The writers Jill Cohen, Sean Hubler, I don't know if that's one person or two. It says, flurry of new laws move blue and red states further apart. Now, I just want to point out that you get tomorrow's news today on the Andrew Klavan Show. I told you this was going to happen, that we are going to have a moral separation, not just a economic separation in the states, and that's a good thing, and it will speed up. It will speed up if the court has the guts to overturn Roe v. Wade. So listen to this really carefully. This is the New York Times talking about this. After the governor of Texas ordered state agencies to investigate parents for child abuse if they provide certain medical treatments to their transgender children, giving children hormone blockers and butchering their bodies is in fact child abuse. California lawmakers proposed a law making the state a refuge for transgender youth and their families, taking away a parent's rights and taking away the child's rights, certainly. When Idaho proposed a ban on abortions that empowers relatives to sue anyone who helps terminate a pregnancy after 6 weeks, nearby Oregon approved $15 million to help cover the abortion expenses of patients from out of state. As Republican activists aggressively pursue conservative social policies in state legislatures across the country, liberal states are taking defensive actions. See, we're the aggressors in the culture war. They're not doing anything radical by saying that they should teach our children that they might be the wrong gender, by saying that they should teach our children not to follow their parents, to hide from their parents. So you can come to school in a boy's clothes, but you can change into your girl's clothes here without telling your parents. That's normal. That's normal. It's radical, offensive culture warrior stuff to try and stop them from doing it. They're just taking defensive actions. Listen to how far they are willing to go. This is the Secretary of Health and Human Services, Xavier Becerra, in front of Congress, cut 27.
For the record, you favor HHS's funding being able for sex reassignment for surgeries on minors.
I will do everything I can to defend any American, including children, whether or not they fit the categories you have mentioned or not. And if they talk about gender-affirming care, I am there to protect the rights of any American.
And what if the parents don't want to? Here's cut 28.
Mr. Secretary, do you think that parents who believe in two genders only should have their children removed from them?
I believe in supporting and protecting transgender youth. I believe that they, along with their parents and their caregivers, will make the best decisions. And I would really urge that politicians like you stay out of their business.
Wow. He can't say that he wouldn't take a child away from its parents if the parents think that there are only two genders. Of course that's where they're going. Of course they're sexualizing our children. Of course they're grooming them. How can you not fight that with everything you've got? We're going to sound like crazy people? They are crazy. They are crazy. I don't know if there's anybody left in authority who's not a loon. These people have lost their minds. They are dragging us in to their sick fantasies of what the world is supposed to be. And by the way, I say this without animus toward anybody who wants to dress up as a woman. I certainly say it without animus to gay people who have always been some of my best friends and my respected colleagues. This is not about this. This is about taking away the parents' right to set the moral standards in their household for their children. And by the way, there is literally 0% science that grooming kids for changing kids for transgenderism is healthy. Jesse Singal is a reporter on Substack, and he's points out that there was an article called Mental Health Outcomes in Transgender and Non-Binary Youths Receiving Gender-Affirming Care. It was published in JAMA Network, opened late in February. In their study, the researchers examined a cohort of kids who came through Seattle Children's Gender Clinic, and they found out how this went. The headline of the emailed version of the press release reads, "Gender-affirming care dramatically reduces depression for transgender gender teens, study finds." But when Singal goes into the study itself and looks at the numbers, he finds that that is entirely untrue. Among the kids who went on hormones, there isn't genuine statistical improvement here from baseline to the final wave of data collection. At baseline, 59%, 60% essentially of the treatment-naive kids experience moderate to severe depression. 12 months later, 56% of the kids on gender assignment experienced moderate to severe depression. At baseline, 45% of the treatment-naive kids experienced self-harm or suicidal thoughts. 12 months later, 37% of the kids. These are not meaningful differences. The kids in the study arrived with what appear to be alarmingly high rates of mental health problems. Many of them went on blockers and hormones, and they exited the study with what appear to be alarmingly high rates of mental health problems. And I think that they will get even higher over time as they start to realize that this stuff cannot be changed. I mean, this is an amazing thing. And you tell us that we shouldn't say groomer, that we have to watch what we say, we have to watch what we talk about. What is your track record? What is your track record, old right? Before Donald Trump stormed in and taught us that you have to be able to stand out enough, you have to be mean enough, gross enough, grotesque enough to fight back against these people. And you know I have my problems with Trump. I never hesitate to criticize Trump when I think Trump deserves to be criticized. That's not the point. The point is he changed the game culturally, and that's why he was elected. He was elected because, you know, the elites don't care about decadence. I am an elite, and I can tell you, I don't care how many people are gay because it's not really going to change my life, okay? It's middle-class people who have to keep their morals intact, because if they don't keep their morals intact, they won't be able to rise. It's always the middle class who are the defenders of morality because they know that success depends on morality. Once people get to a certain level of success, they're pretty safe. Their immorality is not going to hurt them. Donald Trump is a billionaire. No. Has he acted in a sexually moral way? No, he hasn't. But if you behave badly in the middle class, you will sink into the lower class. And that's why a strong middle class, which is what socialism destroys, is really important to the moral health of a nation. For 50, 60 years, the rank and file of this country have been told their religion sucks, their country sucks, their country is racist, they're racist. Their philosophy is homophobic, it's this phobic, it's that phobic. If you think it's bad that Muslims are blowing up your buildings, well, you're Islamophobic. Whatever you think, whenever you think that there is a moral line to be drawn, you're on the wrong side of it. You think there should be a border, you don't like Mexicans. They've been hearing this for 50, 60 years. Your God doesn't exist. Your religion is small-minded and sick. Nobody fought back. Nobody fought back. And certainly these elites in the Republican movement did not get it. They thought, it's all about business. It's all about Ayn Rand. It's all about if you can build a business, you're going to be happy. They let these people's values and their lives and their aspirations be mocked and attacked. And only Donald Trump taught the Republican Party that if you don't fight back, you're going to lose forever. Trump taught him this, and now we know, and these old guys who said, I want more Republicans who sound like Mark Robinson, the North Carolina lieutenant governor. I love this guy. This is the voice of America as far as I'm concerned. He was given a speech in a church, and he just started saying, what did he say? He said, ain't nothing, there ain't but two genders. There ain't but two genders. Play cut 5.
You can go to the doctor and get cut up. You can go down to the dress shop and get made up. You can go down there and get drugged up. But at the end of the day, you were just a drugged up, dressed up, made up, cut up, man or woman. You ain't changed what God put in you, that DNA. I don't care, because it's time for us to stand up. Now, I'm not afraid to stand up and tell the truth about that issue. They're dragging our kids down into the pit of hell, trying to teach them that mess in our schools. Tell you like this, that ain't got no place at no school. 2 plus 2 don't equal transgender. It equals 4. You need to get back to teaching them how to read instead of teaching them how to go to hell.
I'll take this guy over Nate Hochman and David French any day. I really will. He's the voice of America to me. This is the way. We cannot be afraid to say what we say. We cannot be afraid to know what we know. We cannot be afraid to point them out and call them out for what they're doing. And guess what it is? It's grooming. Okay, groomer. If you love this content, and you know you love this content, like and subscribe to the Andrew Klavan podcast wherever you get your podcast.